Person in KwaZulu-Natal, Vusi-Khoza. Mr. Khoza, good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us here on the SABC News channel. You are one of those that were mentioned by Mate as one of those that he knows within the EFF. The EFF's reaction to this new party?
Yeah, thank you very much for having us so that we can clarify this thing once and for all. I just wish to say that, yes, I know Bai Mate, we know him as Bai Mate. In our interim leadership in 2013, he was there, he was part of the provincial leadership. But after we've had elections in 2014, he was not elected into leadership. He then went off tangent, started some scams, and eventually ran away from KZN after we had admonished him to stop scamming people in the name of the EFF. He surfaced in Johannesburg. So he has never renewed his membership in the last 3 or so years. So he's not a member of the EFF.
All right, so you're saying that he's not a member in good standing of the EFF. That is what you say?
No, he is not. He is not. Secondly, there's 2 other people that I would want to mention that I've seen, or at least on that clip. On his left or right or whatever, there's a lady, that's Thulisile Mdlalose, and there's a gentleman on his right or left, his right, that is Mlungisi Mdlalose. Those 2 people are a married couple, the Mdlaloses. The white bouncer I don't recognize. I don't know him. But those 2 are married. They were EFF councillors in eThekwini. They were expelled early this year for misappropriation of EFF funds. We expelled them as councillors. We've recently replaced them. When we went to elections 2019, they were already members of ATM, and they were campaigning for ATM. I know them as ATM members. They were expelled from the EFF. So this grouping here has got nothing to do with EFF. We don't know them.
So part of what Mate said earlier is that he's got proof that Julius Malema was put as the president of the ANC Youth League to remove former President Thabo Mbeki. This, of course, he mentioned your commander-in-chief of the EFF. Your reaction and response to this particular statement?
I laughed when I heard that during our leadership, because I was the interim chairperson and he was on the interim leadership long before we were elected. I laughed when he said that he was head of intelligence. There's no such a position in the EFF. How can we, as a serious organization, the EFF, take a person who has displayed that he's got 0 intelligence and make him a head of intelligence? It's never happened. And whatever he is saying is just a figmentation of his imagination. In fact, he wants to climb on the good name of the EFF and try and justify and make himself relevant. We honestly do not have time for these clowns, and we can tell you now, they are not part of us. They've left the EFF long time ago. We don't recognize them. They're not some of us.
But why do you think they would go as far as doing this? Do you think they are disgruntled maybe because, according to the People's Assembly website, Mate was number 83 on the candidate list for the EFF's election, that is what, in 2014, and he was number 20 on the list, that's the KZN election list. He was also a councillor in Durban's Ward 93. So what could be the reason behind this? Do you think they are disgruntled members who perhaps did not get any positions within the party?
People like Mate, they are unelectable. And these are just a disgruntled group of people. But I would like to say that...
But why would you say he's unelectable?
Say much about that. As you can see, yeah, they're not electable. They're not electable. That's
was he not elected by the very same EFF as a ward councillor for Ward 93 in
Exactly. So he is now disgruntled. He wants to get back at the EFF. We can tell you right away that these are just a bunch of disgruntled individuals. But as for the Mdlaloses, they were expelled. they have no association with the EFF.
So what happens going forward? Are you perhaps going to take any legal action against Mate and the rest of the other members who claim to be from the EFF?
But we don't have time for these clowns who are busy with the organization. These people are not members of the EFF. They can say whatever they want to say. We are just going to ignore them and focus on the job at hand,
but are they
which is
not
building
dragging
the EFF and
EFF's
preparing
name?
ourselves.
Are they not dragging the EFF's name and reputation perhaps in the mud?
But they are not members, so we can't discipline non-members, but they can try, obviously. EFF is bigger than those few individuals, so we don't have time to be chasing after lizards when we have crocodiles to battle with.
No legal action whatsoever, nothing?
No, we'll do nothing. We're too busy building the organization and assisting the people of this country in changing their lives. We don't have time to be chasing after these disgruntled individuals who have too much time in their hands.
All right, Mr. Koza, we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for coming through.
It's our pleasure. Thank you very much.
All right. Vusi Koza is the EFF's chairperson in KwaZulu-Natal, saying that the party that was launched today, those who claim to be former members, they were no longer members in good standing. Some of them were expelled from the party. So as it is now, they don't have time for lizards. They've got bigger crocodiles to catch. That is his words. All right.